My name is Nickel, Nickel, and there are so many changes that just happened all at once. We just have the new SYMMETRA in the game now, as you can see here. I'm going to show you how she plays, how everything works. All of the defense and offense heroes have been put into one category called damage. Now we have a tank category, a damage category, and a support category. And on top of that, we have a brand new social feature, I guess you could call it, two social features, where you're able to actually find people based on pre-made desires for your comp. So for example, if you want a 222, you can make it so that you have a 222. I'm going to show you guys all of that today in the video. If you guys have been enjoying the video, definitely drop a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment saying your favorite type of pizza. So right now, let me show you guys this. Obviously, we have the turrets going down from 6 turrets to 3 turrets, but check this out. You can actually shoot turrets all the way across the map, super far. It's ridiculous. So I was playing a couple of games because I actually didn't record this right away. I actually wanted to see how she felt in a real game for a while, and it was a lot different than I thought it was going to be. One of the biggest things I noticed when you're playing this in real games is people are just constantly shooting the turrets behind you, so that you're fighting this guy right here, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's a turret behind you, and you're getting zapped at. Also, as you probably just noticed right there, her beam is actually changed now, so it's a straight line that you actually have to track on. This is something that's going to feel a lot different than before, especially in terms of just like how accurate you have to be for it. On top of all of that, we also have the teleporter is no longer an ultimate ability. Now you push E, wherever you want it to come out of, that's where it'll show on screen. Wherever it starts is where you're currently standing. So that's the furthest range it can go right there. You see like about that distance. Keep that in mind, but you can also go on high ground like this too. So if I want to go up here to the high ground, you can actually use this for a bunch of things. You can send Diva's ult through there. You can do a bunch of stuff. What you actually do, you can't just walk through it. It won't do anything. You actually have to push the button F. And when you do that, you're here. You can go back. Oh, I waited a little bit too long. You can go back. I put them right in front of each other. You can go back, but you have to like wait a second before it lets you do it. So there's not really a limited number of times from what I can tell that you can do this. It's just a limited number of times that it stands up to begin with. Those turrets are still going, by the way. So you have 3 of these, and look, you can shoot them so far. On top of all of that, the ultimate, I think, is... I mean, I don't know. In the games that I played, obviously they're not real games. They're just like PTR type of messing around games. But it seems so strong. One of the most common things that I see people already doing, it's kind of like a troll tactic, is putting all 3 turrets on one wall and then using the ultimate like right in front of it. And the reason people are doing this is because they have to walk, like, how are they going to destroy this? They have to like walk up right to it, and as they're walking up to it, they're going to be taking damage. So unless they have an enemy that comes from this side somehow, but imagine if this is just a long wall. I should have done the example like on like maybe like this wall. Like you put one right here, and then boom, you throw the ultimate right there, and all of a sudden, that's really like kind of a cheese move. It's kind of like hard to access. And I don't know, it's kind of crazy. So I'll just show you the what the official things are. So for photon projector, they say a short range beam weapon with increasing damage. Damaging barriers does not consume ammunition. Right click allows you to charge, release to fire explosive orbs. So I think I went over that, but I'll just show you again. Obviously, you can do this like you always know, but you can also make a bunch of little small ones. So that's something. You can just shoot them all over. Also, we have the photon barrier. The actual very short explanation of this is just saying that you can deploy a massive energy barrier. Okay. For Sentry, you deploy a small turret that damages and slows enemies. And for the teleporter, you can create 2 teleporters that enable instant travel between them, as we saw earlier. So the actual turrets no longer just have like 1 HP. They actually have a little bit more life now, so it's not going to be just destroyed just by sneezing at it. You actually have to do not very much, but a little bit of damage. So this is the new SYMMETRA. This is the new gameplay for her. We already had the sound effects shown before in a video, so it's not something that's too crazy. But this is like, I feel like this is going to change so much. Like this one patch has changed so much. On top of having her in the game right now on the PTR, we also have all the new changes to Horizon Lunar Colony. I'm not going to go over that in this video because we have an entire video separate about that already. But what I do want to show you guys is the actual looking for a group thing. So I'm just going to go into that right now. And you can see how this looks. So right away, we have the invite players to a group. But as you notice here, we have find a group. And the way that they kind of use the custom games browser. So let's say we want to try our own. We want to make our brand new own one. You can see here, if you want to find somebody else's, you see what they have already. And it took me a minute to figure this out because when I first looked at this, I didn't know exactly how this is going to be laid out. But this guy made a group, and the white ones just mean that that's what they have already filled in. The darker ones is what they don't have filled in. But this comp, this guy wants 1 tank, or 2 tanks, 2 support, and 2 damage. So it's a 2-2-2 comp. This guy wants 3 tanks. He wants a triple tank, 2 support, single DPS. So you can kind of create whatever you want. So for us, let's make like a we'll call it Nichols group. Game mode type will do any game, so you can even do it for competitive. One of the big questions on the stream when we're trying all this stuff out was, can you do this for competitive? The answer is yes, according to this. We'll just do quick play for right now. Wants a voice chat, I'll do no just because I'm making a video. Enforce the rules. So this is something that you guys should really understand. And if I'm misunderstanding this, somebody can let me know in the comments. But I tried this earlier. I wanted to get all the information as straightforward as I could before. I thought when I said enforce rules, it was actually going to enforce the rules, meaning like you have to stick to that comp. Well, I tested this and I went in with what I was supposed to be locked in as a tank role, and I chose a damage hero, and nothing happened. So my assumption is the only reason that this is possible is because you have to be able to switch to other roles in the middle of a game, because I don't want to take away that component of Overwatch. It's a vital part of Overwatch. But on top of that, I think that the only way they're enforcing this is via what they call endorsements. So I'll show you guys the endorsements in a second. Oh, I don't know if I can actually. I might not be able to show you. There's just 3 endorsements. So if you're playing with people, you can endorse them for being a good shot caller, a good teammate, or another third one where you're basically just saying like, hey, you did a good job. And I'm guessing the way that you enforce these rules, if somebody's not sticking to the role they want or the role that the team needs, you'll be able to avoid them as teammate. And I'm assuming that's like the only way you can really punish them. I don't see any other way to make it so that if you select tank, you have to play tank. I could be wrong, but that's the way I'm understanding this after playing this only for an hour or so. So in this comp, let's say we're going to go quad tank to support. Sure. We'll load this up, and then it's going to ask you, what role do I want to play? I want to play tank. So we're going to do quad tank, no DPS. So this is like an unusual comp, but you can basically see here that it'll tell you at the top, like there's 4 tanks, only 1 of them are filled, and 2 are support. So I thought that as soon as he's filled up, it would immediately throw you into a game. That's not the way it works. It basically fills up, and then you have to go and separately select the game mode that you want to play, which is a little bit strange, but I guess it makes sense. It's kind of cool because it takes the team building part of it as much as it can outside of the actual game itself and puts it into this like outside game world where you're literally just looking for a group outside the game. And then once you have that group, you'll go in. If we get these last 2 people right here, these last 2 tanks, then we can go ahead and I can show you what it looks like once you actually get into a game. But the SYMMETRA thing is crazy. Okay, so the group assembled, so it's all done. You think you're ready to go? Well, you actually have to escape out, go back to play, go back to arcade, and then the Horizon Lunar Colony. I'll show you. I guess I might as well show you guys since we're already here. But the Horizon Lunar Colony has all the changes we talked about. Point B has that new cover wall that you can hide behind, and it also has that part on the left that has the like little high ground area. The way it changes the way that you can access that area, because before you only certain people can access it. Now you could do that. Now you can basically just anyone can do it, right? Unless they change that part of the Horizon Lunar Colony, but that's what we were looking at when we saw it last time. So now we have a full group. You can actually see right here that there's what they're playing at the top. I think that's awesome. Also, this is kind of crazy. This is a totally new thing too, is if you try to view their profile, they're all defaulted to private. So I like this overall. I understand why people are upset about this. Some people are upset about this, but this is like really cool in the fact that, like, what if you're a Lucio player that's played like 2,000 hours of Lucio and you don't want to buy an alt account? You just want to go ahead and play more Lucio, right? Well, what are you going to do? I mean, like, it's hard. It's hard because you're going to get pressured. I think that like the trade-off that they're making is they would rather take away the absolute highest level of competition between every single game you play in exchange for being able to have less toxicity. And less toxicity based on the fact that they can't see your profile. If they can't see that you play 2,000 hours of Lucio, then they can't force you to play Lucio or guilt you into playing Lucio or throw the game because you're not playing Lucio, right? So there are so many changes in this. It's like mind-boggling how much there is here. So this is the new Horizon Lunar Colony. If you guys haven't watched that video, that little cover thing up there is nice and fresh. That little area is there too. We got this little floor here. We have these trees over here. We're gonna go over to point A and defend this. I'm not gonna put out this whole game. I just really wanted to show you guys this. I think this is arguably the most important update the game has ever seen. Not necessarily because of SYMMETRA. The SYMMETRA thing is huge too, but also the looking for group thing is massive. Let me see if I can do the recommendations. I can't do the recommendations right now. You have to wait till the end of the match. But once you hit the end of the match, you can actually push the button N, and then you'll be able to choose a hero or a player on your team, and then choose which of those commendations you want to give them. And that kind of like reinforces, what it is that you are trying to commendate them for. So anyway, before I close the video, I'll just show you this real fast. You can throw like a turret all the way from back here. This is like kind of like a practical, quote unquote, practical situation. I mean, people are just constantly throwing out things. And here, you can actually reach this across the other side. So I'll show you guys what this looks like too. And never mind. Never mind. I won't show you that at all. And look at how, like, that's kind of like, look at the regular beam now. Like the regular beam is like crazy. Anyway, so if I throw it back there, I'll be able to hit them from the back. I don't know, guys. I think this is a huge update, massive update, because of just the fact that like team building is now at the core of Overwatch, which is a team-based game. I think is something that is bigger than any like individual hero comp we have, and I think the way they're doing it so far, I mean, obviously we haven't seen it in full action on the live servers, but so far I think it's really, really, really cool. I'm really curious to see what you guys think about this. Definitely try it out. Give me your opinions down below in the comments, and let me know what you think of the new SYMMETRA herself, especially when it comes to her ult. I think her ult is probably the most powerful thing about her at this point on day one of new SYMMETRA. But let me know all that down below in the comments. If you guys didn't get a shout out the video that came out earlier today, I would definitely recommend checking that out as well. We also have some other really cool videos that have come out recently that I'll leave links to down below in the description. Also, if you guys want to catch some live streams of me playing Overwatch and Fortnite, I stream on facebook.com/onickel. Would love to have you there. They're pretty chill streams, so you guys get some one-on-one time if you want to talk about whatever. Sometimes people come in there and they just talk about their thoughts on the game or just stuff in general. But either way, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.